I'd like to call the meeting to order for the City of Maricopa Planning and Zoning Commission, Monday, August 12th at 6 p.m., 2024. We'll have our invocation by Commissioner Irving and Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner
Yoakum.
Yoakum.
Yeah.
Whatever your name is today. Please stand.
Dear Father, thank you for another day, and let us rejoice in the day you have given us. As we go about our deliberations, let us always just remember what you ask of us, to do it with love, understanding, civility. Be with us. We continue to lift up our children as they return to schools in the city, and for their safety and for the support of the teachers and staff working with our kids. We ask this in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll take us a roll call, please.
Commissioner Brems. Here. Commissioner Juarez.
Here.
Vice Chair Singleton.
Here.
Chair Robertson.
Here.
Commissioner Irving.
Here.
Commissioner Yoakum.
Here.
And Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll take us to item number 3, call to the public. If you wish to speak, please submit a speaker card to the chairman prior to the start of the meeting. The procedures follow if you address the commission are: Commission requests that you express your ideas in 3 minutes or less and refrain from any personal attacks or derogatory statements about any city employee, a fellow citizen, or anyone else, whether in the audience or not. The chairman will limit discussion whenever it deems such action is appropriate to the proper conduct of the meeting. Did we have any speaker cards? No speaker cards. Thank you. Take us to... Huh? No speaker cards. Is there anybody who would like to address the commission at this time? Seeing none, we'll close the call to the public. Take us to item number 4. The commission shall approve the minutes of July 22nd, 24th meeting. Are there any comments or corrections on the minutes?
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the minutes as submitted to us.
Motion by Commissioner Irving to approve. All in favor?
I'll second.
Second?
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Item 5.1, DRP 24-03, the Planning and Zoning Commission update. Major development review of case number DRP 24-03 Stonegate BTR, a request by Dennis Newcomb of Gamage and Burnham Attorneys at Law on behalf of property owner and developer Dominium Incorporated for review of site, floor, elevation, landscape, photometric plans for the proposed multifamily development on approximately 19.15 acres of land within the city of Maricopa, generally located on the west of southwest corner of North Stonegate Road and West Allen Stevens Parkway. This will be for discussion only. No action tonight to be taken on the item. Take it away, Derek.
Good evening, Chairman Robertson, members of the Commission. Derek Shearer with the Planning Division of the Development Services Department. Thank you. Here to present the next item on the agenda, item number 5.1. This is DRP 24-03, Stonegate Dominium, multifamily development. This is an item that's discussion only. The applicant is Gamage and Burnham, PLC, on behalf of Stonegate BFC, LLC, the current owners of the property. It is located northwest corner of West Maricopa Casa Grande Highway and North Stonegate Road, just northwest of the Home Depot that's currently under construction. The site is approximately 19.15 acres. This is a review of the site, floor, landscape, elevation, and photometric plans for a build-to-rent multifamily product. The applicant's representative from Gamage and Burnham is not here tonight, but the developer representatives from Dominium are here should the commission have any questions. The proposal is for a build-to-rent cottage development that we've seen before. This project will have 215 build-to-rent buildings, 120 buildings and 215 units. The units will range from 954 square feet for a two-bedroom unit to a 1,360 square foot unit for a four-bedroom space. The site will include a leasing office, main amenity and open space areas, turf play areas, ramadas, and a tot lot as amenities for the residents. There'll be internal and external trail connections through the walking path system, and then also on the west side that you can see on the site plan, there is a trail that's going to be developed adjacent to the site. This trail will eventually connect to the trail that's on the north side of Maricopa Casa Grande Highway that goes all the way down past Walmart to the south, and then connect with the regional trails planned in the city's open space master plan. The project will provide 502 parking spaces. 3% of those will be EV ready, installed with EV chargers, with 2% ready for future install, meaning that the conduit for the electric pipe wiring will be in place, so it'll be an easy setup later on. The project is required to have 493 spaces. This is with the 20% sustainable incentive reduction. So with a full reduction, it's 493 spaces, and they're providing 502 spaces. This equates to approximately 2.34 spaces per unit. So every residential unit will have approximately 2.34 spaces on average. Here we have the landscape plan. As you can see, the main entrance for this is on that the right side of the plan. That is onto Allen Stevens Parkway, while on that lower right side, that is a connection that goes out to Maricopa Casa Grande Highway. That'll be another main connection into the development. It is anticipated that a lot of the residents will utilize that Maricopa Casa Grande entrance as opposed to the Allen Stevens, just because of the proximity of Maricopa Casa Grande Highway and which ways it leads through the city and out of the city. In the landscape plan, you can see right off of that main entrance is the clubhouse. Behind it is the open turf area with the amenities, main amenities for the residents. Beyond that, you can see little pocket parks of open space clustered sort of in little neighborhood pockets throughout the development. The developer is really paid attention to clustering these development units so that they have these almost little neighborhoods with several of the units together, and then having their common amenity space located very closely as a small amenity space, and then the major amenities. Each one of these units will also have its own private backyard space, which is typical for these types of build-to-rent developments that we've seen before. Here are some elevations and renderings of the various units. They will be either single standalone buildings or duplexes, one-story and two-story, varying with a couple of different color palettes that you'll see here. This that I have on the screen now is the one-story two-bedroom. And we have another elevation example of it. Here we have a two-story. As you can see with the two stories, there's basically, it's kind of the same box, but there's a little bit different trim and then reorganization for which way the unit faces, whether we see in that bottom left-hand corner, unit D1, unit C1, where those doors are facing towards us, while on the right side, on that right elevation, you have that main door there. So depending on the unit, so the top left and the bottom right, those would be the same unit, while then the bottom left, that's a different type of unit with the organization of the units inside the frame of the building. And here we have another color example with slightly different trims, different color pattern to break up the developments so that these are pretty unique. When they get developed, they're going to be scattered all around differently so that we do not have this monotony of the same building, the same color scheme all together. There's going to be this variety to give interest to the community. Here we have examples of the clubhouse that was on the top right of that site plan that I saw with the main entrance coming in off of Allen Stevens Parkway. Before this is approved by the staff of the planning division. All aspects of the zoning ordinance will be met, and this proposal is appropriate for the function of the site, and it's integrated with the existing development of the area. The elevations and color combinations appear well integrated and complementary, and again, it will meet all of the requirements of the zoning ordinance. Notification letters were sent on July 25th, along with the site posting for this Planning and Zoning Commission meeting we're holding today, August 12th, 2024. Staff did receive one email in opposition from the public on the DRP application. This application, the opposition was for the parking reduction, but as long as the applicant meets the zoning code requirements in the sustainable incentive, that is something that is granted to them and cannot be withheld from them. I'm happy to answer any questions that the commission may have. Again, we have the
Thank you,
developer.
Derek. Commissioners, questions, comments? Commissioner Yocum.
Just a comment, and what I'm going to discuss, you're not in violation of any of the zoning that has to do with parking. But when we look at what we're trying to do locally, county, state, especially federal government, we're talking about going with EV vehicles 100% within the next 15 to 25 years. And I see that, I think right now we are looking here at 3% that you're going to have EV charging, which is about 15 spaces. And as I say, I think that meets the code. However, if 15 to 20 years from now, we're going to, let's say we even achieve 60 or 70% EV vehicles and gasoline cars start to disappear, it would seem to me that now is the time to plan for that eventuality. When we say that we're going to have 15 EV spots, are you talking about they're going to be fully ready and being charged, or are they just going to be pre-wired?
Chairman Robertson, Commissioner Yocum, those 3%, those will be at install, at construction of the site, while another 2% will be for future install. That means the sleeving for all the electrical conduit will be in place, so it's just running the wires through that sleeving and then installing the charger. With these developments, our code only requires that they provide the 5%. We don't have in our zoning ordinance any requirement higher than that 5% of the required spaces on the site.
Okay, I'm looking at the greater good in the city of Maricopa 15, 20 years from now. And this project, as well as any other projects that might be presented to this commission, it would seem to me that 15 years from now, if we have all of these electric vehicles, there's going to be a tremendous amount of money spent to be running additional lines. And it would seem to me that we should be thinking about that now, maybe a heavier pre-wiring program or whatever. And as I say, I mentioned this for the greater good, not necessarily for this project.
That could be something that we could look into with a future text amendment. But then I also think that with developments like this and older developments that don't have the ability to have any of this because they're already developed, maybe the market will create electric charging stations like gas stations. We do have over in Gila Bend the Tesla charging facility there, where it's next to the gas station, but it's all chargers. Perhaps the market will come up with something like that, and it'll be a combination of whether it's installed at residences or then a commercial product out there to go quick charge.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Yocum. Commissioner Irving?
My concern is the traffic flow and the issue of we now have somebody coordinating that. We've heard over and over again from that population, from Porter Road, from Honeycutt to Bowen. We're now going to add more housing in there on top of commercial Home Depot, which is all good. Right now, if you visit that area with a number of schools, traffic, the schools, the police are all, it's just a problem. I guess my concern is the consideration for that and our growth in that area I don't see any response. I mean, it's a nightmare now. And now we're adding all these extra units behind a retailer that's going to do a lot of business across the street where they're going to be developing more. I just think we need to see a plan that talks about the congestion that's going to cause. I mean, the drawings and renderings are nice, but we're creating a traffic impasse for our citizens. And I just really, really, really stress that there needs to be a plan to show people how the city's going to respond to that and the continued growth in that small, concentrated area. Just my opinion.
Thank you, Commissioner Irving. Anyone else have a comment or question? Derek, just you probably don't have it in front of you, but the original traffic impact analysis for that area, was there anything significant that jumped out that might equate to what Commissioner Irving was talking about? The traffic impact study obviously came back favorable, or we wouldn't be to this point, but is there any highlights in there that would help answer Commissioner Irving's question? Right.
Yes, Chairman Robertson, Commissioner Irving. If the commission can recall, a few weeks ago, a major planned area development for the Stonegate area came in front of the commission here, and then it was subsequently approved with the council. During that major PAD amendment, the traffic issue came up in the in the TIA traffic document. And there are significant issues around the site. And through the TIAs recommended that improvements at Stonegate and Allen Stevens, that intersection, that it be improved because it's right now failing according to the TIA. Part of that PAD amendment, the applicant who's with us and the other property owners in the Stonegate development entered into a contract with the city for what their reasonable off-site costs for improvements. The city engineers looked at doing a traffic circle at the Stonegate Allen Stevens intersection to alleviate the traffic there, keep it flowing more smoothly rather than the stop signs that are there now that people pay attention to on the most part, but not the whole part. So it's recommended that a traffic circle be installed there. And then through that, there was also a recommendation that a traffic signal at Maricopa Casa Grande Highway right here be installed. However, this location here is too close to the existing one at Stonegate and Casa Grande Highway. They have to be separated enough. So the city engineers looked at putting the traffic light further west down the road in front of Sonita, which there would give a gapping space between the red lights, where there's a red light here, stops all the traffic going on Casa Grande Highway. It creates that gap for all the traffic to leave or enter, then the light signals, and the city engineer would coordinate that and then do the timing of those lights.
Thank you for the input.
Anybody else? Go ahead, James.
So you might not know the answer right off the top of your head, but what's the potential timeline for those improvements? Because let's say we go start building here, like we're in the peak of school, everything like that. Like some of these residents cannot get out of their, subdivision right now, right? I would just like to see a more immediate response to it. The plans itself, great, and I commend the developer from taking the spine road out. But yeah, I would like to see traffic addressed sooner rather than later. But that's it.
Chairman Robertson, Commissioner Singleton. The designs for those, I believe, are already underway, and how long it takes for this development and the other developments to occur, I believe that they're going to be happening simultaneously. I do not know if it's been placed on the capital improvement budget for next year or the year after. A development like this is definitely going to take many months to come to fruition before any of these units are leased to the public. I don't have an exact date, but I have the applicant here who may be able to answer that a little better if you'd like to hear about that. But they will work in conjunction with each other.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you, Derek. That was for discussion only.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Takes us to item 5.2, subdivision 24-10. Planning and Zoning Commission shall discuss and take action on subdivision case sub 24-02. Is that a typo? We got subdivision 2402 in the headline and 2402 in the text.
Chair Robertson, no, that is not a typo. That's how our system works.
Okay.
The previous
I don't know, I just caught
2402
my
was
eye just
already
now.
taken.
Okay. Preliminary plat for Homestead Parcel 28, a request for preliminary plat approval to subdivide plus or minus 10.9 acres of land to 53 lots and 8 tracts for residential subdivision. This will be for discussion and action only. Take it away, Alex.
Thank you, Chair Robertson, members of the commission. I'm Alexander Bosworth, planner here with the city of Maricopa. And tonight I have a subdivision pre-plat case for Homestead Parcel 28. And just to give some brief background on this specific parcel, it's located off of Homestead and Continental Boulevard within the Homestead subdivision. It's more of an infill parcel. Originally in the 2003 PAD approval, this site was originally slated as a school site. And the property owner and the school district came to a donation agreement for the site itself. However, over time, the school was never built, and therefore on August 4th of 2023, the property owner and the school district came to a mutual agreement to terminate the donation agreement. So therefore, the applicant is coming back for this site and requesting to subdivide it for residential. So this request, as such, includes 53 residential lots, 40-foot wide tracts, and 8 open space tracts as well. Please note that this will be a gated subdivision. The streets will be private to be maintained by the HOA. And the proposed density is at 4.86 dwelling units an acre, which brings the overall PAD density to 3.74 dwelling units an acre, which is well below the maximum allowed within the PAD. Over 25% of the site is designated to open space, as shown in green on the slide. There are internal trails and amenities. The amenities are shown in these arrows here. And the pedestrian connections are also provided, as shown on the slide above, to the adjacent collector streets. Please note that staff has taken this to the external TAC review, internal development review meetings, and planning, fire, engineering, and our GIS division have reviewed this per the PAD and per the code and have deemed it compliant. Staff has also analyzed this in terms of the general plan conformance and has deemed that this is conformant with the medium density residential designation of the site. It is also conformant to the updated PAD and with section 18 of the zoning code. And therefore, staff will recommend that the Plan Commission approve this pre-plat case for Homestead Parcel 28, case number sub 2402. And that concludes my presentation. The applicant did want to make a couple closing statements before we take any questions and go for discussion, if that's all right with the chair and commission.
Good evening, Chair Robinson and members of the commission. Just want to say thank you for taking your time to review the project. We're excited about it. I think it's a good little infill parcel that the school doesn't need. So I'm just here representing. I'm Ty Wilson with Collier's Engineering and Design, previously Hilgart Wilson, up in Phoenix, representing D.R. Horton as the developer. That's it.
Thank you.
And that concludes my presentation, Chair Robertson, members of the commission.
Thank you, Alex. Commissioners?
Yeah,
Irving?
I am going to quote from your analysis, and I'm going to quote from what you just said. The site was reserved as a future elementary school in 2003, 21 years ago. 21 years ago, the population of the school district was 1,600. The agreement, there are always agreements with the school when they promise sites for a need. Those expire in 10 years. The superintendent was asked to sign it because there was no other choice that already expired. Okay? Because the Maricopa Unified School District did not build a school within an established time frame, which was true. Therefore, it was determined that the original site was no longer needed to serve the educational needs of the community. I think the comment you just made, that there was no need for the Maricopa School District to use that for a site. I'd like to show this to everybody, give it to you, that November 5th, the citizens will be asked to pass a bond referendum to build 2 new schools, elementary schools, for an addition of 350,000 square feet of instructional space. Our kids are now going to school in trailers. This talks about where, it talks about the time frame. I clearly understand that as a developer, you're well within the rights because that was signed off on. I have no problem with that. And I guess when I'm asking, I checked with the business office this morning at 10 o'clock and said, this is coming up. If there is, do you still have a need? They said, absolutely. I drove by that site about an hour ago. It's a perfect site based upon the growth in the lakes and other areas. We need schools. I guess my question is, not a city issue, it's with the developers, the fact that is there a way we can wait and see what the citizens of Maricopa want to do? If they pass a bond issue and you clearly donated that land for a school site, and if the voters of Maricopa say it's clearly needed, then my question is, and I understand your rights legally, I'm put, I can only speak for myself, in a position of saying, oh, let's go ahead, let them develop it, and shortchange the sites we need for our kids. So I guess my question is, since I talked to the school this morning, is there a way to revisit that waiver because that site is desperately needed, which will save the taxpayers a lot of money because this is donated land and a donated site. And it's not a city issue, you know, because legally they're fine. But I think I would be remiss if I didn't stand up and say that was the original intent of that donation. Clearly that shows the need is there. 21 years later, we are approaching 10,000 children in our schools. Our charter schools are building. I'm just saying, you know, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't bring that up and say, is there a way we can revisit, at least until the voters in Maricopa have their right to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Irving. Commissioners, any other questions or comments? Alex, I had one. Can you go back to the map that shows the entrance? The emergency exit onto Walker Way, that'll be a locked, gated and locked emergency only, not for use by residents.
That's correct, Chair Robertson. It'll be gated.
Okay. So does that meet the requirement of having at least 2 ways in and out?
That's correct, Chair Robertson.
That's the clarification I needed. Any other questions?
I still need an answer to my request. Would the developers be willing to enter into a discussion now that we've clearly demonstrated a need?
Commissioner Irving, I'll allow the applicant to
Not yet.
address that question.
If they don't want to answer, that's fine. That'll dictate my vote. I'm just simply saying, and again, everything they did was totally legal. I'm not questioning that at all. But clearly, we in Maricopa haven't, that's all I'm saying.
Before the
I might ask Tina, our legal counsel, could you address the appropriateness of
Yeah, and I'm fine letting the developer speak, but what the city has in its possession is a termination of donation agreement, which was entered into last August 4th, 2023, that says the parties now desire to mutually terminate the agreement.
And
If it expired, they didn't have
it
a
expired. For them to move forward, the superintendent had no other course. I mean, it had expired, and of course she's going to sign it. All I'm saying is that in that year, clearly the school board has voted to put a referendum in front of the citizens of the city, which means the conditions have changed. Again, they didn't, the developers did everything right. I'm not arguing that at all. All I'm saying, and is a good faith effort to the citizens of Maricopa, knowing our need, can we revisit it? That's all. It's got nothing with the city. That's all I'm saying. And if they say no, that's their legal right.
Understood.
Commissioner Irving, Chair Robertson, the applicant here will speak on that.
Thank you. Please state your name, please.
Jose Castillo, 2525 West Pryor Road, Chandler, Arizona, 85224. With D.R. Horton, I'm the Vice President of Land Development. So, Commissioner, this is new information to me because the last information that I'm aware of is that the school district told us when we talked to them about this is that they did not need the site. So I'm literally hearing this for the first time since that agreement was signed. We've been planning for this site. It's in the business plan since about a year ago, since this came up. So we kindly ask you to move this forward at this point in time.
And I clearly understand, and I'm kindly asking you, would you support tabling this until you revisit? Again, I guess all I'm asking is if you would go back and talk to the district and see where they are as of today or tomorrow. And no matter what they say, you have a right to do what you want to do. All I'm saying is it is new to you. There is clear need in the city for that. That's all I'm asking. And again, I guess I would just like to hold this until you had a chance to talk to the superintendent to say what her desire was. That's all I'm asking.
So if the desire was that they would like the site, would they purchase it?
Well, said it was
Yeah,
donated.
So this is inappropriate now. This is completely not on our agenda. If they work something out with the school, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You are free to say
We're-
no, that's
Yeah, you're
outside
free to
of
say whatever you
that.
want. All I'm going
we're
by
gonna ask-
is this said back in 2003, the site was reserved of a future elementary school and the school site donation agreement. So all I'm saying is 21 years ago, there was an agreement to donate. Again, I'm not asking you to commit to anything except sit down and talk to the superintendent. That's all I'm asking. And regardless of what you said, you can still bring this up whenever you want.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that discussion. Council has informed us that this is beyond our scope for the commission.
No,
And I'm going to go ahead and call for a motion.
she didn't say that at all. If that's the,
Just to clarify,
She just-
Chairman Robertson and Commissioner Irving, yes, if this was supposed to be terminated, it should say not by mutual agreement, but because it was terminated. This was done a year ago. This is the best information we
I'm not
have.
arguing that.
If somebody from the school is here that wants to object to that, that's fine.
I'm not arguing, objecting anything. I'm asking a simple question of the developer who clearly has a right to say no, that would they mind holding off on this until he talks to the superintendent. That's all, which isn't out of the question because this is on the agenda for action. And if he doesn't want to answer it, I have no problem with that.
I think we're almost dwelling on a point of order situation here, really. And
Well,
I think it's up to the chair to make that decision.
No, again, according to Robert's Rules of Order, there are three motions that can be made. You can simply make a motion to pass, you can make a motion to object, or you can make a motion to table. I'm willing to make a motion to table based on his answer. If he chooses not to answer, I have no problem with that. But clearly, Roberts allows for a motion to table.
Is that your motion?
I'm waiting for an
Sir,
answer.
would you like to answer?
If he doesn't want to answer, I have no problem.
We can't answer that.
No problem.
That's a very large dollar amount that you're asking me to just donate.
Thank you.
I have no problem with that at all.
Would you like to make a motion to table?
No.
Okay.
Not based on what he said.
Okay, we'll call for a motion on the application as presented, the case in front of
I
us.
would like to move that we approve.
Motion to approve from Commissioner Yocum, a second. Second from Commissioner Juarez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, opposed?
No.
Oppose.
Motion carries.
Could you please call roll call so we have a number of the votes?
Okay, 6 to 1. Could
It
we have
wasn't 6-1, that's why I'm asking you to poll.
roll call vote?
Commissioner Brems? Commissioner Juarez? Vice Chair Singleton?
Aye.
Chair Robertson?
Aye.
Jim Irving?
No.
Commissioner Yocum?
Aye.
And Commissioner Thomas.
Oppose.
Motion carries 5 to 2. Thank you. Okay. That takes us to item number 7, executive session. Is there any need for an executive session, Commissioners? Oh, yeah, report from Commissioner and/or staff.
Thank you, Chairman Robertson. Just a quick update. We'll be having a second meeting in 2 weeks on August 26th. We will be canceling the first meeting in September as we do not have anything tracking coming out of Memorial Day, Labor Day weekend, I'm sorry. And that, sir, concludes my updates, and we'll see you on the 26th.
Sounds good.
Okay. I didn't hear a request for executive session, so that brings us to adjournment. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Commissioner Singleton, motion to adjourn, second.
Second it.
Commissioner Thomas, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned.